අද මේ ඇඩිලේඩ් වල අන්තිම දවස අපි රිවර් ක්‍රූස් එකක් යන්න කියලා හදන්නේ. ඉතින් ඔයගලන්වත් අනිවාර්යෙන් එක්කන් යන බව දන්නවනේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ නේද? හරිම ලස්සනයි මෙතන. ඉතින් අපි මේ දැන් කාර් එක පාක් කරලා එතෙන්ට යනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ආවහම පාකින් එහෙම පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න. පාකින් එහෙම ලේසියෙන් ආවට හොයාගන්න අමාරුයි. පාක් කරලා චුට්ටක් ඇවිදින්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේ බ්‍රිජ් එක ක්‍රොස් කරලා අපි එහා පැත්තට යා පෙන්නන්න ඕගලන් දාලා. දැන් මේ තියෙන්නේ අපි යන්න ඕනේ අර අනිත් පැත්තට. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කාර් එකක් ඇවිල්ලා පාක් කරනවා නම් පාක් කරලා ටිකක් ඇවිදින්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා වේලස්සන එන්න ක්‍රූස් එකට එනවා නම් මේ අපිව දැන් මේ බ්‍රිජ් එකෙන් එහා පැත්තේ හස්බන්ඩ් අපිව ඩ්‍රොප් කළා. එයා ගියා දැන් පාකින් හොයන්න. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා වේලස්සන එන්න මේ අපිත් හොඳ වෙලාවට වේලස්සන ආවේ. නැත්තම් සෑහෙන දුර ඇවිදින්න ඕනේ. අන්තිම මොහොතේ ආවොත් ඔයගලන්ට ක්‍රූස් එක මිස් වෙන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අද නම් හරිම ෂෝක් දවසක්. හොඳට ඉරේලිය අවුව තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ රස්නේ ටිකක්. මම හිතුවා සීතල වෙයි කියලා. හැබැයි ක්‍රූස් එකේ යනකොට සීතල වෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැ. මෙන්න මේ පාලම තියෙන්නේ. පාලමෙන් ක්‍රොස් කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ එහා පැත්තේ පාක් කරොත් අර ඈත පේන්නේ ඇඩිලේඩ් ඕවල් එක. ඒ පාර අයිනෙන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඩ්‍රයිව් කරන් එන්න පුළුවන්. ඇවිල්ලා මේ පාලමෙන් ගොඩ වෙලා එන්න ඕනේ රිවර් ක්‍රූස් එක පටන් ගන්න තැනට. ඉතින් එතන තමයි හොයාගෙන අපි මේ යන්නේ. දැන් මේ මෙතන ගහලා තියෙනවා Papay when the river cruises. Payment is accepted on board by cash, EFTPOS, or you can book online. Online book කරනවා නම් මෙන්න මේක තමයි වෙබ්සයිට් එක. අපි නම් online book කරලා ආවේ. ඉතින් ටෙලිෆෝන් නම්බර එක. ඉතින් මෙතෙන්ට ඔයගොල්ලෝ එන්න ඕනේ. නගින්න මම හිතන්නේ ස්ටොප්ස් කීපයක් තියෙනවද කොහෙද? දැන් ගාන බලමු. ඇඩල්ට් 26යි, කන්සෙෂන් 22යි, චයිල්ඩ් 17, පැඩල් බෝට් hire 25.
Oh, I see you now. Hello.
ඔන්න අපේ බෝට්ටුව නම් එනම පේනවා. එච්චර ලොකු එකක් නෙමෙයි. මං හිතුවේ ටිකක් ලොකුයි කියලා. ඉතින් ලොකු සෙනගක් නම් හිටියේ නෑ.
බලමු ගිහිල්ලා නේ.
Now, would your son like his photo taken up the front and the captain? "45 minutes. What we do is we leave here at Elder Park, we go up around the corner to the weir, back past here, down all the way to the zoo. We can drop you off at the zoo if that's your next destination, otherwise we bring you back to Elder Park. So if you do want to be dropped off at the zoo, we just ask you if you can let us know and we'll drop you off at the landing. We are on the traditional and spiritual lands of the Kaurna people here in the Adelaide Plains area, so we'd like to recognise that. We are on a boat, so if everyone could be safe, that would be appreciated. Don't feel like going for a swim today. I don't think you do either. The water wouldn't be that nice, I don't think. So if everyone can stay safe, that would be great. I also, I'm going to do some commentary as we go around today. So I normally ask people where they're from. Have we got any locals on board? Any Adelaideans? No, that's good. Interstate people, mostly, I assume. Sydney, yeah, okay. And did I get an American accent a bit earlier? Yes, great. Where are you from in the States?
Miami.
Miami, okay. Florida, very nice.
We're both people.
Okay, great. All right. All right, well, welcome everyone. I like having a lot of interstate and overseas people. I can sort of make stuff up as I go along there, can't I? Tell you about the crocodiles on the river and all sorts of different things. Anyway, look, I think it's, well, we've got a couple of minutes, so we'll just wait for 2 minutes to see if anyone turns up, and then we will get going. Welcome everyone. Today is the Adelaide Festival Theatre Complex, which is up on the left-hand side there. That's the home of the arts and theatre scene here in Adelaide. That was opened about 1973, about 2 months before the Sydney Opera House. It's at its busiest every March when we hold the Adelaide Festival every year in March. And behind the Festival Theatre you can see the new glass building there. The gold coloured building is the new Sky City Hotel. Has a nice rooftop restaurant and bar if you're looking for somewhere to have a drink or something to eat later. And as we look up to the left you might notice a gap on, through the buildings up there, and the older building on the left hand side of the gap there that's just coming into view is the old Adelaide Railway Station, which these days houses the Adelaide Casino. You might notice the three large buildings on the left there. They're the Adelaide Convention Centre buildings. The first one was completed back in 1987, and that actually makes them the oldest purpose-built convention centre facilities in the country. Obviously haven't been very busy over the last few years with COVID, but they're hoping things will crank up again next year. So we're on the River Torrens this morning, but we actually refer to this part of the river as a lake. And that's because of the weir that's up around the corner. And the weir is there really to regulate the, which is down on the coast about 13 kilometres away, a purpose-built facility there. But a lot of the clubs and schools still do their training here on Lake Torrens. And as you're all from out of town, just to give you a little bit of South Australian history as we're going around today. We were established in 1836 here in SA. We're a free settler state, no convicts here in South Australia. And of course that makes us a higher class of person. That gives you an idea that times were pretty tough early on, and this area on the left-hand side of the river was a shanty town for many years, and then during the tough times of the Great Depression in the late 1920s, early 1930s. These days a medical precinct has popped up on the left over the last 10 or 15 years. The next building of interest is the new Royal Adelaide Hospital, which is beyond the Riverside Rowing Club up there, with the teal, white and grey colours you can see through the trees up there. A very expensive hospital. That cost over $2.3 billion when it was completed back in 2000, of about 10 metres, and it goes down to normal river level, and then the river extends the 13 kilometres down to the coast. And beyond the weir on the left you might notice an old stone turreted building. Too close to the weir today. Out the way fellas please.
Dear. The bottle. Oh my gosh, that's not good. Look at this. Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's as you can see, a lot of debris has been washed up here. this week because of all the rain. So the middle area of the weir there can be raised slightly, and has been raised this week to allow. What are you doing here, champ? Are you going or not? Come on, mate. Come on, out of the way. Yeah, so the weir can be raised to allow water to be released. It's the Red Ochre Grill upstairs and the River Cafe downstairs. And you might notice the two gondolas that are parked there at the bottom of the platform. They are authentic Venetian gondolas. They're available for hire. Not from Mario, the chap's name's Roger, which isn't very Italian, I know, but he's a nice fella. It's a nice thing to do on a sunny day. 1935, and at that time the owners were looking for a name, so what they did is they held a competition for school kids, asking them what a good name would be. The popular name of choice was Popeye, or Popeye the Sailor, so we've been Popeye ever since. The second of the photos I'm going to pass around now is of our most famous visitor on Popeye. She came aboard twice, a creature which is now quite rare on mainland Australia. You probably noticed the little boats that are moored up on the left-hand side there. They're the barbecue buoy boats. They're available for hire most weekends. They'll be out and about later today, I think. They're a self-drive boat with a barbecue on board. They're fully licensed, so they're where Ash Barty won one of her last tournaments nearly a year ago now. And then the largest structure behind it is the Adelaide Oval, of course, which has been there since the 1870s. Underwent quite a major renovation about 10 years ago, where they spent about $600 million replacing most of the grandstands. Thank goodness they left the old scoreboard intact, which was built in 1910. River now, you've probably noticed the paddle boats that are moored there. They'll be open for business a bit later today. They've been around nearly as long as Popeye, the paddle boats, another Adelaide institution. And the grass area here on the right hand side is Elder Park, named after Sir Thomas Elder, a prominent early Adelaide businessman. He was the founder of Elders Pastoral Company. If you're Australian, you've probably heard of Elders. Elder Park holds many functions and festivals throughout the year. In the water on the right hand side here, they're meant to represent the early settler transportation. The settlers telling the tales of the hardships of the voyage out here. It was a bit of a engineering marvel in its day. North Adelaide up on the left. Ironically, a lot of the trams were dismantled back in the 1950s, but over the last 15 or so years have been reinstated. A couple of buildings of interest on the right hand side. Jolly's Boathouse Restaurant there was originally opened as a cafe, but for years it's been a cafe, nice spot for a bite to eat or a cup of coffee. The Popeye offices are actually at the rear of that building there on the right. You can see the other two Popeyes moored there, Popeye 3 and Popeye 1 up in front of us. And up on the grass mound up on the right hand side, you might notice the small Spanish style building up there. That's the original water police station. It was built in 1928. I always thought it was a public lavatory, but no, it's not. A couple of our ducklings over there. We've had a lot of ducklings. Yeah, so the Adelaide Uni, as I said, is on the right-hand side of the river in front of us there. It was first founded in 1870. And just coming into view in front of us here is the lovely old Adelaide University footbridge that was built in 1971. And of the last of our photos today refers to the footbridge. So the photo was taken in 1971, and just to give you some background, the first week of the university school year in Adelaide here is often referred to as Prosh Week or Prank Week, where students regularly play pranks on each other and things. So that is a real photo that is being passed around. We actually had a relative of one of the engineering students on board recently who confirmed a couple of things. One is they all passed engineering, which is not surprising, I guess. They weren't expelled, but he did confirm that the lecturer was not impressed. Quite an amazing. You might notice the red brick buildings up on the right-hand side there. They are part of the university. They're called the Mawson Laboratory buildings, named after Sir Douglas Mawson, the early Australian explorer. And then beyond those buildings, up on the right, on the other side of Frome Road, you'll just get a bit of a glimpse of the newest high school in Adelaide, the Adelaide Botanical High School, which is built on the grounds of the old Royal Adelaide Hospital. Lovely botanical gardens here in Adelaide. I'd highly recommend that. It looks like the sun's going to be out for a while. The black objects, if you look through the trees up on the right there, there's a couple of thousand of them up there. They've migrated around the east coast. So as I mentioned a bit earlier, we're on the River Torrens here this morning. The source of the River Torrens is about 65 kilometres northeast of here at a place called Mount Pleasant. So the river winds its way down through the Adelaide foothills and the eastern suburbs of Adelaide, past us here and all the way down. So I believe it's been there since 1879, the Adelaide Zoo, which I believe makes it the second oldest zoo in Australia. Well, here are a couple of our black swans in front of us there. Who was Queen Victoria's husband, of course. The bridge was constructed in 1879 from large bits of iron that were brought out from the UK, apparently at a cost of £9,000. I'm told they've written a book of the building of the bridge. Apparently it's a riveting read. Sorry about that. Yeah, so lovely old bridge, the Albert Bridge there. So still got our fingers crossed there. You might notice the lovely terrace gardens on either side of the river, especially here on the right. They're known as the Grundy Gardens. People were putting on the bridge, you know, the craze of people doing that. So the Adelaide Council got a bit nervous about that, so they removed all the padlocks from the bridge in front of us here, and they actually put them on the railing. A lovely spot in springtime in Adelaide around here. probably noticed a lot of the debris that's been washed into the water in the last couple of weeks has ended up here and it's made a bit of a bank there, so it's quite shallow there on the right hand side. A little bit more South Australian history as we're heading back to Elder Park. We're a planned city here in Adelaide, which is a little bit unusual in Australia. We had a chap called Colonel William Light come out to South Australia in 18, which had a grid pattern with nice wide streets, and then surrounding that CBD is a band of parklands, and then surrounding the parklands are the suburbs. So it's a very easy city to get around Adelaide. We're very fortunate. He's pointing out overlooking the Adelaide Oval and his vision for the City of Adelaide, Light's vision. Notice up on the right hand side the tops of the spires of St Peter's Cathedral. You can just spy them through the trees up on the right there, the two spires. Lovely old cathedral built in the 1870s, 1880s up there at North Adelaide.
Baba.
You passed the toot test? So up on the right hand side is the Adelaide Oval, as I mentioned before, and you might notice the copper colour structure hugging the back of the grandstand up on the right. High tea every Sunday, so just go online to thepopeye.com.au for more information. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in Adelaide. Hope the weather stays good. I think with a little bit more rain coming later, unfortunately, but
ඔන්න ඉතින් අපි හොඳ රවුමක් ගිහිල්ලා ආපහු යනවා. විනාඩි 40ක විතර බෝට් රයිඩ් එකක් තමයි මේක. ඉතින් මම මේකට මියුසික් දාන්නවත් වොයිස් ඕවර් කරන්නවත් ගියේ නැහැ. ඕගලන්ට ඒ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එක ඒ විදිහටම විඳ ගන්න අවස්ථාව දෙන්න නිසා. ඒ වගේම තමයි කමෙන්ට්‍රි එක මම එහෙමම ඕගලන්ට ඇහෙන්න සැලැස්සුවා. මොකද ඕගලන්ට එතකොට ඔස්ට්‍රේලියන් ඇක්සන්ට් එක මොන වගේද මෙහෙට එන්න අර චුට්ටක් අයිඩියා එකක් දෙන්න නිසා මම ඒක ඒ විදිහටම වීඩියෝ එකේ තියෙන්න ඇරියා. එතකොටත් ඕගලන්ට ලේසියිනේ විස්තරය අහගන්න පුළුවන්නේ. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා මේක ඕගලන්ට ප්‍රයෝජනවත් වෙන්න ඇති කියලා.
okay, all good to go. See you again, Brother Nicky. See you guys. Thanks for coming. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
See you. ක්‍රූස් එක ඉවරලා දැන් යනවා. දැන් අපි එයාපෝට් එකට යන්න ඕනේ. අද ෆ්ලයි කරනවා සිඩ්නි. අද සෙනසුරාදා. දිනේ මතකත් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපේ ට්‍රිප් එකේ අන්තිම කොටස තමයි රිවර් ක්‍රූස් එක කරේ. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට එකෙන් යම් දෙයක් දැනගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ නැති කියලා. ඉතින් එහෙනම් තවත් වීඩියෝ එකකින් තව දවසකින් හම්බ වෙනකල් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හැමෝටම සුබ දවසක් කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ සවුත් ඕස්ට්‍රේලියා වීඩියෝ සීරීස් ටික එන්ජොයි කරන්න ඇති කියලා හිතනවා. එහෙනම් බයි. හති ඇවිදලා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පරිස්සමෙන් ඉන්න. ඉතින් ඔයගලන්ට මොනවද හිතෙන්නේ කියලා පළවෙනි කමෙන්ට් කරන්නකෝ. සවුත් ඕස්ට්‍රේලියා එන්න ඉන්න අයට නම් මම හිතන්නේ ගොඩක් ආස ඇති මේ වීඩියෝස් වලට. පුළුවන් තරම් කරා. ඉතින් වීඩියෝස් ටිකක් අමාරුයි ෆැමිලි එකක් එක්ක එනකොට මට ඕන දේම කරන්නත් අමාරුයි නේ හැම එකම. ඉතින් හැමෝටම පුළුවන් කැමති දේනේ කරන්නේ. හරි එහෙනම් ඕකේ බයි.